What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here for the weekly update, where we briefly touch on all the major sports and any pertinent hobby news and random thoughts that I have on the day. Before we dive in, YouTube stuff down below, like button, sub if you haven't, and links to all the pertinent information such as market movers, where we get all our little fancy charts, graphs, and data from that we will be using in today's video. With all that being said, we're going to start with basketball, move to football, and end with baseball this week. We're going to switch it up, get a little wild here. So let's talk about basketball. Modern NBA continues to slightly trend down. I have price movements by card up right now, filtered by PSA 10. And you can see the top of the chart is all the hot names: Zion, Ja, Luka, RJ, Zion, Trae Young, Kobe White, and some LeBron 47th year Prism base in there. You can also see a bunch of red next to their names. Now, it's not a ton of red, and it's small numbers. 2% here, 3% here, 4% there. Nothing crazy. Everyone just seems to be bouncing around the same price points. Ja drops below 400, goes back up to 400. Zion goes up to 650, drops back down to 625, goes back up to 650. Luka drops down to 1200-ish, goes back up to 1300-ish. So on and so forth. There's a lot of this up, down, up, down, up, down, which makes me think we're kind of just floating along at the bottom here, and it's just a matter of when things spike back up. But the clock is ticking. We are rapidly heading towards the NBA playoffs now, but we are in the dog days of the season. We are post-trade deadline now. That has happened. We are post-All-Star break. And we're in that wonderful part of the season where everybody is hurt, sitting out, bought out, no longer with the team or whatever. And a lot of the major stars are out. No LeBron, no AD, no KD, no Embiid. We have no clear-cut MVP candidates. And it's just been a weird year, but we are rapidly heading towards the playoffs and NBA playoff games, and play-in games for that matter. So my gut says at some point in time, this is going to pick up. It's just a matter of getting into the right players. And the problem is the popular ones, Zion, Ja, Luka, all have big question marks surrounding them regarding how well they're going to do in the playoffs. The teams at the top don't have a lot of players that people like to buy. Donovan Mitchell, the Joker, big man, Ben Simmons on the Sixers, James Harden on the Nets, Kyrie Irving on the Nets. These are just not typically players people like to invest heavy dollars in. So we'll see where it goes. But the NBA market does continue to just kind of sit out there. We'll talk about the football and baseball market here in a minute, but in general, the sports card market is still kind of in a little bit of a malaise, if you will. And I think that's to be expected. I went to the local card show today. I'm recording this on Saturday, so yesterday when you guys are listening to this. I talked about it in the live stream yesterday a little bit. I made a few deals, picked up a Tatis Chrome PSA 10. The interesting part to me was now, this show is in Canton, Ohio. It's there every month. I've been going for a while now, popping in months, probably the last 3 months, I think, since the first of the year. I've been going to the show. I was holding off for a long time because of all the COVID nonsense. But I started popping back in the last few months to get the lay of the land. The first 2 or 3 months I went, it was insanely busy, especially considering that was pre a lot of people being vaccinated and all that stuff. Today, it was busy, but it was not as busy. I usually go right when they start. I'm usually there from 9 to about 11 a.m., give or take, and that stayed the same today. I don't know if it was weather related or just boredom. with the sports card market. I don't know. And maybe it was just completely anecdotal. Today, it was absolutely gorgeous in Ohio. It's probably the nicest day that we've had the entire year. Today, once again, being Saturday, not Sunday. Recording this the day before. So sorry, future people. So I don't know if it was just people were out and about on a Saturday morning. It was gorgeous out, getting yard work done, this, that, and the other thing. But it just felt a little more open walking around the card show. Usually I'm running into a ton of people, and there was a ton of people there, or a lot of people there. But I felt like I could more freely move around and through the tables, if that makes sense. And once again, completely anecdotal. It's one card show in Ohio on a Saturday. You know, you look at the videos of Dallas and stuff, and it's packed. So it is what it is. But the card market seems to be floating in the middle somewhere. A lot of people are putting money into other things and other collectibles, such as myself, comic books, non-sports cards, Top Shot for that crazy town. And life is starting to get back to normal. I do feel like the getting back to normal part is having the biggest impact on the market. You know, the world is starting to open back up again. And I am by no means trying to sound doom or gloom or anything, but I'm wondering if these prices that we are seeing today are the new normal. So maybe I'll do a longer video on this. I don't want to derail this too much, but I don't think it's ever going back to what it was in spring 2018 when Luka PSA 10s were $60. But I'm wondering if this is the new normal, and last August was the all-time high. And now, you know, this is where we are, which is fine. You could still make a ton of money and have a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. But expecting the old prices might be the mistake. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. So let's get into some individual players here. I have ranted and raved long enough. Oh, actually, yes. One more thing before we dig into individual player graphs, and then we will get the ball rolling. I am 99% sure I am going to the National this year. My question for you, I am reaching out to you, my community. Those of you that have attended the National in the past, and I mentioned this on the live stream yesterday, so some of you might be hearing this twice. What is the correct number of days to attend your first National? Let me lay out what my thought process is. I'm driving, not flying. It's about a 6-hour drive from where I'm at. No big deal. My plan is to arrive Thursday night or Thursday late afternoon. Maybe take a quick lap around the show floor. Basically spend Friday all day, Friday night doing the hotel trade room stuff. Saturday, once again, Saturday night, doing all the nonsense. And then packing up and heading out Sunday. I could hit the show Sunday morning if I want to, take one last quick lap around, see if there's any deals or whatever, and then hit the wonderful turnpike for 6 hours to head east. Does anyone see any fault with that? Can poke holes in that? Tips, recommendations, etc. The better the hotels to stay in. I have not booked anything yet, though I did see the Hyatt Regency, I believe, is full. I think I was looking at the Hilton across the street. I want to stay either attached or within across the street walking distance from the convention center. So give me any thoughts give me any tips, tricks, or thoughts to a rookie attending the National. And I'm sure there are other people watching this video that are going to be the same. So leave those in the comments down below for you veterans. Help us noobs out. Now, let's get into the individual player charts and try to move through this quickly since I have wasted a bunch of time. Going down, it's your weekly Kevin Porter Jr. news update, as someone said in a previous video. PSA 10 silver down 20%, dropped $100 from 550 down to 440. I'm recording this prior to them playing Saturday night. If he balls out, I wouldn't be surprised if this shoots right back up again. He was injured he came up, played like gangbusters, got hurt, got stuck behind Oladipo and Wall. Victor's gone now. He's healthy. I really could see his prices spiking back up again because I think he's going to put up numbers. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wall gets shut down sometime soon either. So KPJ, one of the bigger losers on the week and what has otherwise been a fairly flat NBA market. Another one, and this one caught me off guard. I have no idea where this came from. Colin Sexton just got brutalized this week. I know he liked a tweet about Kevin Love being overpaid, but that doesn't seem like what would cause this. His PSA 10 Prism had a last 14 days sales average of $155 with a high of almost 200, and it's down 50% to $100. And a lot of this is like auctions and stuff. Like I said, this one just kind of caught me off guard because he's been playing fine. He missed a couple of games because of a hamstring injury, but nothing significant. So I don't know if this is people just moving out of players that, they're not going to want to hold into the summer and stuff, because it's not like the Cavs are in the playoffs. This just seems like a fast drop. I'm not surprised that he's going down. It just seems like a very quick drop all of a sudden. So Sexton PSA 10 Prisms for around $100, and there was a few of them that sold because I double checked the sales data on this because I thought it seemed strange. But yeah, as much as I'm like on the fence on Sexton, this one seems a little too cheap, but you're probably going to have to hold it to next season to really see good returns on it. Devontae Graham, one of the bigger winners on the week, mostly due to the LaMelo injury. It has freed up a ton of playing time for him to regain his former glory. I never understood the love for this guy prior to this season. He was on a lot of people's sleeper lists, and a lot of people always used to ask me about investing into him. I never saw it, especially with them drafting LaMelo. Even before they got LaMelo, I never really saw it. But he gets a second life right now. And I will tell you right now, if I was into Devontae Graham and you missed your window, I think this is your opportunity to get back out of him. I just don't think he's that good of an NBA player. He is perfectly adequate. He is probably a fifth guy or a perfect sixth man off the bench in the NBA, in my opinion. Those guys usually don't hold long-term value. If with his prices spiking up like this, I would be selling him. I just don't see the reason to hold Devontae Graham long-term. If you lost money on him because you invested in him like you probably shouldn't have earlier in the season, this might be your out clause, but I would not hesitate. I would look to get out of him as quickly as possible. On the week, he's up almost 37%. This is his PSA 10 base Prism. Started the week at about $45, ends the week at about $65. But I would be looking to move quickly on getting him out of my portfolio. Football. This is a weird one. Dak Prescott Optic PSA 10 down 25%. To around $260. I found this one kind of strange, but here you go. Best offer price found $250 and a fixed price. Buy it now at $260. When prior to that, they were going for $350, a $315, a $300, a $290, and then a couple $245s and $300s. I really like this card at anything sub $300. In my opinion, especially if you could get it for around that 260 mark. I don't know how many of those are out there, but if you can find it around this range, if you could use the current comps to your advantage, this 250 to 260, I would absolutely be looking to stock up on these. Right now, I firmly believe you should be buying football. You should be selling baseball and buying football in droves. A lot of the football market is starting to slowly creep up again, and I think it's just a matter of time. Some people even faster than others. It's not a creep. Like Mr. Daniel Jones, one of the bigger winners of free agency, getting Kenny Golladay, sent his prices up quite a bit, and he had gotten pretty cheap. I happened to be sitting at my computer when the Golladay news came across, and I actually hopped on StarStock and bought a PSA 10 Prism for $150. Which was probably slightly high given like current comps, but I knew it was going to happen, and it did shoot up. It's jumped all the way up to 210, up 66% on the week. And I ran the numbers for everything. This is his PSA 10 Optic, Concourse, and Field Level, all up a minimum of 60-some%, if not more. His Optic is up 100%, Prism's up 66%, Concourse is up 76%, and Premier is up 90%. And I think this will slowly keep on tracking up as we approach the regular season. And to be honest, this is a perfect example of what I've been talking about. Keep buying football. And then like Daniel Jones, I am not taking the risk carrying him into the season. I will be dropping him like a bad habit come early to mid-August. I will be selling as quickly as I possibly can for the stuff that I picked up of him. I am just not looking to carry a football into season other than some Baker Mayfield because it's a PC. But yeah, Mr. Daniel Jones had a pretty good week with the Kenny Golladay news. So we will see if those prices hold. My thought process is, if I could get the words out, that it continues to slowly spike up, maybe has a tiny pullback, and then just slowly keeps ticking up from now until summer. Oh, Mr. Watson. I actually ran this chart back 14 days because I kind of wanted to see the full experience. Watson Prism Silver PSA 10 over the last 14 days on this one. I cheated. Down 36%. Started the week at started the 2 week period off at $1,313, so $1,300, and ends at $829. And I think this is just going to keep going down, to be quite honest with you. More allegations keep coming out. There's rumors that he may be suspended or asked to stay away from the team. There's zero shot he gets traded right now. This is a real mess. At some point in time, there's probably going to be a buying opportunity on him. I would be setting Schefter alerts. If a tweet comes across that he's been cleared of everything, his prices are going to go to the moon and they're going to go quick. But there could also easily be a tweet saying, he's away from the team until this legal matter is cleared up. And that could take God knows how many months. So my gut tells me the Texans are thinking that he may not be around this season, or at least for part of it, hence why they gave Tyrod Taylor so much money. And I really believe when they said they were not going to trade him, I wonder if it was more because they knew this was coming and knew that they wouldn't be able to trade him. So I'm not touching Watson until I see some clarity. This is one of those ones where if you're fast, if you're sitting at your computer and a tweet comes out that clears him and you could dive on StarStock and buy, it'll probably be a very smart play. But you're going to have literally probably a 30-second window to get that done. It'll move that fast. The reason why I say StarStock is because if it's eBay, people will just cancel the order. If you hop on there and do a buy it now at like $700, assuming this keeps going down, people will just cancel the order. If it comes out that he's been cleared, they'll just be like, oh, sorry, my dog ate it. Oh, the kid dropped it off my desk and decided to play with it as a toy. Sorry, it got ruined. Cancel. That stuff's going to happen. That doesn't happen on StarStock. So there will be a very limited window that you'll be able to make a move on this. I am not taking the risk in pre-buying it. I will let this play itself out. If I happen to be sitting here when it happens, I will try to make a play. If I miss it, I miss it. It is what it is. Next up, got a couple left. Oh, Eloy. Baseball. Eloy Jimenez, the big loser on the week. This is his Topps Chrome PSA 10, a card I literally just talked about, liking holding it into the season, is down 26% because he tore a pec muscle, I believe, and is out 5 to 6 months. Down $36. I assume this is going to keep trending down. And here's the real problem with this. And from my own personal perspective, because I got a question on this yesterday, what do you do about Eloy? The only Eloy that I owned was All-Star stock, and I had a couple PSA 10 Topps Chromes. I sold them. I immediately sold them. I took a loss. I bought them for like low hundreds. They were trending at like 125-ish. And I wanted to hold them into the season. There was best offers out there for 90. I saw where he got hurt on Twitter. And I actually sold before the announcement came out. And there were some tweets. I was digging through Twitter and there were some tweets saying it didn't look good. They didn't like the way he was like walking off and stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And I just went on, and rather than risk it that the offer would get canceled, I just clicked accept offer, accept offer, accept offer, and took like a $15 to $20 loss on each card. I'm glad that I did, because I would rather just have that money back with a slight loss taken to be able to go buy other stuff versus sitting on it. Because the problem now is, say he's out 5 to 6 months, any setback at all, he misses the season. And if it gets so late in the season, he may not come back at all anyways. And who knows what he's going to hit like coming off that injury. So now you have to hold him all the way till next March. So you basically have to hold him for a year. So that's money tied up for an entire year into a card that you hope rebounds back up. I assume that it will. He's a very popular player and people like him. But that's a long time to have to hold a card. And I just took the $20 loss, $15 loss, and moved. And sometimes you got to do that. It's a tough call to make sometimes. It sucks, but it's better to have the liquidity than to be stuck holding the card for a year. Will there be a buying opportunity him at some point in time? Yes, probably. It's probably going to be late summer. There's just no reason to buy the dip right now because you have to hold it for so long. Unless you get lucky and he comes back right before the playoffs and you could get a playoff run out of him. But I just, to me, a torn muscle like that with a hitter just seems rough, man. So I'm off Eloy. I will definitely look to maybe get back into him at the end of the summer. And then, try to ride the wave into the winter and see what happens. But I was really sad about that injury. Soto. So the big three, Soto, Tatis, and Acuna, their chromes and base paper cards have basically stayed flat to slightly down. Some are slightly up, but it's basically flat. A few percentage points here and there. But Soto's Topps Heritage has had a week. I don't know if this is just market correction, playing catch up with all the other Soto stuff, but actually really I know Topps Heritage doesn't get a lot of love from the baseball community, but I actually really like Topps Heritage sets. You could get into them fairly cheaply. Their PSA 10s don't sell for a lot. But I just look at the cards. Just reminds me of the baseball cards I bought as a kid. But regardless, his Topps Heritage PSA 10 is up 25%, went from 130 all the way up to 180. And has had even some sales above that, a couple 195s, almost $200 in there. But anything Soto, Acuna, and Tatis continues to do pretty well for itself. And last but not least, wanted to talk about Wander Franco really quick. Both his paper and his chrome continue to slightly go down. Chrome down 3%, down under $200 or down under $300 now, down to $280. The paper down 23%, down to $100. So here's the thing with Franco. I believe he's going to get called up sooner rather than later. The only thing that's weird this year is the service time thing's the same. It's 16 or 19 days or whatever it is. But I think the spring training season's pushed back to start later. So I don't know if they legitimately want to get him more playing time in the minors or if they just want to dodge the service time crap and bring him up after that. I'm going to watch his prices. If they continue to dip, I will buy, especially on something like, once again, Star Stock for the quick flip. Because I can tell you right now, the second he gets called up, his prices are going to soar. Especially on something like Star Stock. Star Stock's very overreactionary. So I'm going to track the prices on him and look to potentially buy the dip and then flip it as soon as he comes up, or flip some of it and maybe keep one or something, depending on how many I can get into. So that's my play with Wander Franco and any of these guys, any of these top prospects that are getting sent down. Keep a real close eye on their prices, especially if it's guys that are expected to get the call this year. Watch him dip. The second you see him flatten out, grab some, hold it, wait for him to get called up, price a spike before they even take a major league at bat, sell it, rinse and repeat. That is how you make money on a platform like Star Stock. You can do it in real life too. It's just easier on Star Stock because everything's instant. And once again, if you're not using Star Stock, you really need to check out Star Stock. It has its issues. Do not get me wrong. It is not a perfect platform, but I still cannot say enough good things about it. There is a code down below for $10. If you deposit 10 or more dollars, you get 10 and I get 10 for a bonus. So you get an extra $10 and I get $10. So that code is in the description down below. That is all that I have for you guys today. I am not sure what tomorrow morning's video is going to be about yet. So we will see what pops into my head today. Oh, I did want to do one thing. Something I would like to start doing is shining a spotlight on some YouTube channels that I believe should have way more subscribers than they do. I have been lucky enough to somehow break through the magic of the YouTube algorithm over the last 6 months or so. And the channel continues to do great, but I would like to give back some and try to help out some channels that I think deserve more attention than what they currently get. And the first one I want to do, I'm going to sprinkle these in at the end of a couple different videos here and there. This is not going to be like an every video thing, but every once in a while, I am going to shine a light on someone, or at least try to. And once again, these are channels that I watch. You can see right here, I've watched every one of his videos. And this is Step Back Sportscards, my buddy. I talk to him fairly frequently. Only 192 subscribers. That is a joke. And I will tell you right now, we do not always see eye to eye. We argue a ton. That's good. He dabbles a lot more in 80s, 90s stuff. Plays a little bit with modern, but his wheelhouse is like Garnett, AI, Jordan, etc. Big SGC guy, but not afraid to talk about PSA. But definitely go check out his channel. Some quality information out there, and he deserves way more than 192 subscribers. So I'm going to link to his channel down below. When you're done watching this video, go click on that. Check out what he's got. If you like it, subscribe. I think you probably will. It's a little different perspective, but that's good. So go check out his channel. Click the like button on this video. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, most likely. Peace.